Hello there, today I'm going to do a short review on Taffin, starring Pierce Brosnan. So this film is about Pierce Brosnan's hair, and much like how North by Northwest is about Cary Grant's suit and what happens to it, Taffin is about Pierce Brosnan's hair and the adventures it goes on. Really, it's about Taffin, played by Pierce Brosnan. He lives in an annex, much like Swayze did in Roadhouse, and there are serious Roadhouse moments to be had in Taffin. In fact, it has a Roadhouse meets Father Ted vibe. In the case of some scenes, quite literally, Roadhouse meets Father Ted. But let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has to say. Rotten Tomatoes has Taffin at 0 or nil point on the critics, but 42% on the audience rating. Whilst it seems critics haven't discovered Taffin yet, it's clearly a fan favourite. One audience member reviews it as Taffin may be one of the greatest Irish films ever made. Don't fuck with Taffin. Well, quite. But seriously, Taffin, played by Pierce Brosnan, is not a complicated man. He likes whiskey in bed. He is definitely Irish. I mean, look, he's got that photo of Alex Higgins behind him to prove it. Love that. He drinks Guinness and he goes to strip bars during daylight hours and has a flagrant disregard for shirting. And he can be rather shouty rather quickly. But let's see what the costume designer had to say about Taffin. The costumes for Taffin were designed by Imogen Magnus, according to IMDb, and tracking down anything that relates to the clothes in this little indie film, after about 30 odd years, was quite a struggle. Although, I did find this transcript in the British Library from an interview she did in 2013. Oh, filmmaking, yes. I've worked all over the world. I've been very lucky. I've worked in America, in Sri Lanka, all over Europe. Ireland. Oh yes, I worked with a young Irish actor some years ago. I hadn't heard of him. He was called Pierce Brosnan. He's doing okay now. Very nice man. He was the lead in this small Irish film. Very nice man, very witty, really got the hang of what we wanted to do very quickly. So let's take a quick look at what Brosnan wore. So Taffin is mostly seen wearing a classic vintage U-boat peacoat, which suggests a naval background, maybe ex-army turned debt collector. Although Pierce, in a lost interview for Multiglom, is not a fan of the phrase debt collector. I hate the term debt collector, he says, because it's so bland. He's kind of a frustrated idealist, I guess, which isn't going to put bums on seats. He's a loner, yes. He's very much a loner. In the same interview, Brosnan is described as impossibly handsome, like Barbie's boyfriend Ken, only better looking. He is a walking, talking advertisement for Irish manhood. Back to the hair, back to the clothes. So it is a lapelled jacket with a half belt and western yoke on the back, military tabs on the cuffs, and as this is a rare vintage jacket, you'll find these quite readily on eBay, and I'll leave links on the blog in the show notes. When Taffin looks to wear Purcell sunglasses, maybe 2803S perhaps, when he delivers the famous line, "Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!" And the buttes at the end, spoilers, are some tasty full rim aviators that you can pick up quite readily again from Oliver Brown, Ray-Ban, Adidas, etc. And how about this? A freeze frame ending. God, I really miss freeze frame endings. Please bring them back. Taffin also rocks an original Levi trucker jacket in some scenes. Again, very accessible, and you should also be thinking about accessorizing. Taffin wears some silver rings. My mate Carl makes rings like that. You can check them out on DeAndreas. Again, links on the blog. Okay, my thoughts. So Taffin doesn't really have the hard edges that I think it thinks it has. I mean, there's always a lot of bravado, a lot of shirt off, chest hair out, a lot of pissing on people in public toilets.
That's better.
But you get the sense no one was really in any kind of danger. Even Taffin's car seems to magically heal like Christine after an initial drubbing at the hands of old creepy hands. Brosnan's accent is all over the road in this film. Also, it's like he's desperate to get back to his Irish roots, yet still can't shake off the Remington steel inflections. And it's interesting that the original writer of the book said he didn't want Brosnan because he didn't want the main lead to be good looking. He wanted him to be overweight, schlubby, and look like he could land a punch. And I think I get his point, because at some moments during the film you just can't get over how fucking cool Brosnan looks. It's very distracting. Just check out this shot here. I mean, it's the best shot of the entire movie. That said, it's a low budget film. So low, it looks like even the rich corporates made miniature models from used toilet rolls. So you do have to cut it some slack. It wants to be Roadhouse, but the fight scenes are too slapstick. Then it wants to be Get Carter, but doesn't have the guile or the writing. But oddly, I would recommend Taffin. There is something intensely watchable about Brosnan's performance in this, but only in the way I want to share something that is potentially scarring, like when you want someone to taste milk that is on the turn. Here, try this. It's gone off. It's horrible. It will make you sick, but please try it, because I've tried it and I don't want to die alone. So that's it from me. Taffin is available on Amazon Prime if you're a subscriber, and I'll catch you on the next one.